Hello, honorable members of the clan. So, guys, let's go to the Knockout High Court in the Central Mayo analyzing trial. Guys, those of you that are new on this channel, this is what the channel is about actually. However, do not worry, I will still be serving the content that you have signed up for. I'm talking about the new family members on this channel. So don't worry about that. I do a trial that is currently happening, and I cover that by making commentary on what transpired in court. However, I will continue with the other content that you guys came across and signed up for. Now, let's go back to the North Gauteng High Court, guys, and the court resumed today, the 22nd of April, 2025. Remember, it did resume about last week, the 14th of April, and unfortunately, Mr. Mnisi was not prepared or ready to continue with representing accused number one, that is Mnisi, because he had 40,000 plus pages of transcript that he need to go through. And he says, well, it's too much, and the time that I'm given or I put for myself is not sufficient, and he sought for postponement. And we saw Judge Ratha was not having it last week. He even made a judgment that the trial will continue today, the 22nd of April 2025. Of course, Mr. Mnisi said that, well, in that case, then I will have to withdraw my representation for accused number one because this is impossible for me to do. And then the judge said, no, you will make that submission on the 22nd of April. So we found out in court today when it started, Mr. Mnisi had submitted or made an application, a notice of motion, basically to tell and seek for mercy from the judge to give him the time that he needs, because he really wants to represent accused number one, and accused number one wants to have Mr. Mnisi as his lawyer. So he went on a whole affidavit that he read out to the court, where he was basically saying the court was being harsh on him after telling the court that even the state admitted that the transcript pages, there are a lot, there are too much. And the interesting part about this motion of notice of motion, the state does not object. They said, listen, we are all at the mercy of the court. We only come and seek indulgence, and the court uses its discretion whether it's going to grant or dismiss the application. So I was like, I'm quite interested to hear what Judge Ratha is going to say. But now I was noticing Judge Ratha's body language, the way he was talking this morning. He seemed to have a bounce on his voice. He seemed a little bit happy and loose and very relaxed from my observation. I could be wrong. And I was asking myself, sir, why are you so happy? Because we don't know you like that. But anyways, I got to find out while I was listening when he was quoting the Supreme Court of Appeal judgment on a minor that unalived herself because of the pressure of being on the stand for so many years, so much so that she could no longer handle the pressure, because she still had one more accused that was still going to cross-examine her. So she unalived herself. The magistrate then took a decision to find the accused guilty and sentence them to life, but they appealed. At the appeals court, this is when the court said, no. Section 35 of the Constitution needs to be considered in terms of a fair trial to the accused. So everything that the state has submitted, it did not prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. And therefore, because the witness is no longer there to be cross-examined, it's no longer a fair trial. And therefore, those three accused were set free. Now, what does this mean? This means that with this case, Judge Ratha doesn't want to commit the same mistake as the magistrate that had made. Inasmuch the state has submitted all the evidence or part of the evidence to a point where now we have the head investigator in Brigadier Kininda, then we're going to have to postpone the matter so that we don't find a situation where when this matter is appealed and then the appeals court says that, well, the case was not proven beyond a reasonable doubt because of whatever situation. So he was like, then he is forced by that particular judgment to grant the postponement to Mr. Mnisi because it's a lot that he needs to go to. And the judge also defended himself with the provision of the Criminal Procedure Act, I think is section 321 or something like that, where he was like, listen, there must be a justifiable reason as to why you are seeking for a postponement. And that is all that he wanted to know from Mr. Mnisi last week, which I was like, I don't think so. You were quite harsh. You should have at least made an indication that you are making an inquiry according to the Criminal Procedure Act that says that the judge does have the discretion to inquire about these postponements. When are we going to return? Because he even made an example about the two, I don't know what you call this, different laws. In criminal law, there must be a definitive date as to when do we return after postponement versus the civil court where you can postpone a matter. I think he said sine die or sine die or something like that, which means indefinitely. I was like, oh, okay, I did not know that. But anyways, we learn every day. We are not lawyers. We are not judges. We are just people observing this matter, rubbing our two IQs together and trying to make sense of what exactly is happening with this matter. So now when the judge asked Mr. Mnisi, how long do you need to prepare? Because now he understands indeed that Mr. Mnisi doesn't only have to read as if he's reading for leisure. He needs to read, analyze, understand, and then put together his approach of argument and cross-examination towards the state. And on top of that, there are new evidence suddenly that are popping up, new pictures are popping up, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, it makes sense why the state doesn't want to oppose any postponement, because you know what we think of them, right? The cuckorization is still going on. They're still going on. And it was quite interesting to hear the judge say, hey, the state has already tabled its evidence. We have the head investigator. What new will you be submitting to this matter? Instead, those new discoveries that you are finding, rather have them in cross-examination of the state. I was like, okay, even though I'm not happy with that line of argument, but I get it. I do get it. So at the end of the day, now I think we are left with probably 15 minutes because I need to wrap up this. They just postponed coming back in 30 minutes so that Mr. Mnisi will come back with a date. And every time Mr. Ratha was saying, when do you want to, for how long do you want me to postpone? I kept saying, September, September, because this matter, I mean, going through 40,000 pages, to me, it will require an entire year. An entire year if I really want to represent my client to the best of my abilities, especially in a matter like this one, where the rest of us don't believe that the people that are accused of this matter, they are innocent of this matter. Innocent of this matter. The people that the court should have in the courtroom are the people that we will send to Mayo on the 26th of October 2014. Yeah, those 7 people that were sent on Meiwa, they know the truth. They are the ones should be lined up in the dock, not these people that the state just slapped these charges on and hoped that the people of South Africa are going to buy into that story. That story fell apart. The state doesn't have a case. And it's been shown over and over and over again that the state does not have a case. Even the late Mr. Mngome Zulu like held the bull by the horn and said, this is fabrication. This entire case is fabrication, and we agree with him. So Mr. Mnisi, if he wants all the time in the world, then Mr. Mnisi needs to get all the time in the world. And I think September will be the best time, I think, sufficient time since the beginning of the year to September to have put together an argument and cross-examination approach to the states, particularly to Brigadier Kininda. Yeah, so I don't know what your thoughts are. Right now, they are postponed so that Mr. Mnisi has a discussion with the states so that they come with a date that is going to be conducive for all of them to come back on. So I am hoping September. Better yet, next year. I'm sorry. That's what happens when I think you get a new lawyer. But other than that, guys, please don't leave this video without liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And I'll see you next time with a new video. I think they are coming back. See you later.